I did all alright. Had no need to fight tonight.
Hello everybody, Alex here. This is officially my first English speaking video on YouTube, I think. Yes. So who am I? I am a comedian who makes funny sketches, political rants, and, just speaking from my heart. And this time I want to reach a more international audience because it is important in order to follow the context of the video. But anyways, I'm gonna talk about Sweden. So, there's a lot of fuss about Sweden and how we are socialistic, how we're gonna burn in hell because we're letting all immigrants in, and so on and so on. So, me as a Swedish guy, I would like to make my 5 cents heard in all of this fuss, okay? So here we go. So, the socialism in this country has made us citizens believe that everybody should be accounted for. A slogan for the Social Democratic Party was actually "Alla ska med", which could be translated as "no one gets left out". This is something that is deeply rooted in Sweden as a country, and of course it affects the citizens as well. We want to help everybody when it comes to healthcare, elderly care, school, and other instances in the society, which helps all of the people, not only the rich, but also the poor and the ones left outside society as homeless people, drug addicts, and so on. Now this is a great idea, I would say. When I visited USA for the first time, I was surprised to see so many homeless people scattered throughout the city, Los Angeles, the mecca of the homeless people, and I was genuinely scared when I got the hospital billed $300. I'm not gonna say what I did, but it was, an Asian guy touched my balls. So basically I paid $300 for an Asian guy to touch my balls in a hospital. Yeah. In Sweden we barely pay anything to get checked up. But now I am comparing the most capitalist country in the world to one of the most socialist country in the world, so that isn't fair. In Sweden we have a different issue though. The queue for getting yourself checked up in healthcare is huge. The food that our elderly is getting is not good. It's below the standards. And we don't have enough resources in the police department, in the hospital, and so on. So the great idea of a socialistic country has backlashed when it comes to the standards of our welfare. Some people dispute that this is because of our open-door immigration policy, which means that we have a lot more citizens to pay welfare to, which ultimately decreases the money we can put into healthcare, for example. Now this is partly right. But why blame the immigrants and the refugees for this? Most of them live in poor areas with no direct accesses to the job market. They live in segregated and polarized areas in the suburbs. So who to blame? The politicians, of course. When I had a mark on my leg, I first went to the state-issued healthcare and they told me that it was some kind of skin fungus, so they got me an ointment for that, but it didn't help. I went back and got another product for the same thing, didn't help. Then I went to a privately owned healthcare institution, paid a little bit more, and the doctor immediately noticed that it was Borrelia, which actually is quite dangerous. I got antibiotics and it went away. Now this is not what the socialists wanted. This is a result of the right-wing politicians, the capitalists. The more you pay, the better healthcare you get. So there is problems on both sides of the political coin, and in the meantime, things get worse in the suburbs, the segregation increases, the gaps between the poor and the rich increases, the one thing that Social Democrats actually fixed in the 1930s, and Sweden is going downhill. So who makes the most profit of this generous immigration policy, you might ask? Well, the rich, of course. If you look at the statistics of which class consumes the most, it's the lower middle class. They take loans, buy a lot from great corporations like Coop, ICA, and so on, which makes the rich richer and the middle class broader. They win. And in the meanwhile, the lower middle class fights with each other saying that it's the immigrants' fault, and the immigrants saying that it's the Swedes' fault, when in fact it is the ruling political elite's fault. Also, a theory I have about the Swedes is the fact that we have no common goal. In the 1950s, we could all come together as one great force, striving towards a goal, the folkhemmet. We were all determined to build up our country together, make it better for all of us and include everybody. Poor as rich, women as men, immigrants as Swedes, black as white, and so on. Everybody wanted to make it better for everybody. But things have taken a turn for the worse. Me, as a 19th kid, feels no community feeling at all. Born in an individualistic state of mind where all the people should reach their own specific goals and the mentality goes into whether or not you should succeed rather than we should succeed. The we in the process has been replaced by me. Individualism is the new religion of Sweden. There is no great purpose, no great feeling of fellowship, no feeling of team spirit inside of our country. We are not proud of being one, a great force in the fight of evil, but rather a one-man army in the consuming, commercialized, tabloidized plastic world that we are now part of. Sweden is also one of the most atheist countries in the world, so no feeling of fellowship there either. Religion, which could hold people together and a feeling of community could be sensed, was actually from the beginning used as a political weapon or a tool in order to control people and their mindset. But we don't have that anymore either, because that has been replaced by the capitalistic point of view regarding your clothing, your appearance, your subculture, and your political beliefs. So basically what this means is that we have no greater purpose. We have no thing to fight for. We have no sense of feeling that we are one. We're just different people all scattered throughout a landscape, you could say. And this makes us believe that we, where am I? I should do something. I want to belong. I want to fight for something. I want to be part of something. And that's why these are created, this movement, like the feminist movement, like the anti-fascistic movement. We all have this huge spectrum of political beliefs and movements, like veganism, like there's so many movements in this country because we all want to belong. That's what we all want to do. We as people want to belong. We want to feel that we are part of something greater than ourselves. And that's why when you people, which I'm talking to right now, like from United States or whatever you're coming from, that's why when you see us and you think, man, are they dumb? Why are they doing that shit? Well, basically, we just want to belong. So when you see these socialists, these feminists, they are part of something greater than themselves. They want to affect something and they want to do it. Now, I'm not saying they're doing it the right way. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that. But are we to blame them? They want a, feeling of that they're belonging. That they are part of something that can affect and develop and construct and change and transform the world that they're living in. So I don't blame them. I don't blame anyone fighting for something that they think is right, although it might not be right in other people's eyes, right? The individualism commercialized by the West and brain controlling all the people into buying the latest iPhone, the latest t-shirt, listening to the latest record of the new pop gods, which actually just consists of algorithms deeply researched only to sell the most, dumbing the generation down, creating a generation of people who do not belong anywhere. The individualism has taken its toll in Sweden, and I blame the capitalists for this one. We need to feel together again. We need to feel like one. We need to feel like we are striving towards a common goal in order to get our society back on track like we used to. As you may have noticed right now, I'm pretty politically unbiased. I use it as a smorgasbord, taking pieces of the political spectrum which I like. I want to create my own utopia. And don't even get me started at the media. I think the media is to blame for a lot in our society. The biased, politically correct way of portraying the reality and perception has created a lot of alternative media outlets that tells another truth. As I always say, the truth lies somewhere in between. I have done a video about this in Swedish, which is called Politisk korrekthet, where I mention the responsibility the media has. How they come from an ideal of objectivity outlet powered by the rich elite in order to put forward their own agenda by being politically correct and portraying their perception of reality rather than the people's perception of reality. This is one of the reasons why I think us YouTubers will be the new generation of journalists and the new generation of people creating opinions for the world. But I'll save that for another video. So that was basically it. I hope you like it. You know, I'm gonna make more English videos in the future. So if you like this one, press the like button and subscribe. I don't know. Have a good one. Hi.